Welcome, everybody, here to the Sports Talk Network channel, and here specifically for my Raw review for Monday Night Raw here on August 28th, 2017. Now, I know I have the title of the video as I have the title of the video, but I only had that because that's what I had to have before. You don't have to have a title of video before you, when you create the Hangout, so I'll change it here shortly. But anyways, congratulations to Alexa Bliss, the new Raw Women's Champion, and also afterwards you have Nia Jax doing the face turn. Now we're going to have Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax, what we should have had at WWE SummerSlam. I know my friend here and also fellow YouTuber BC Amplified. Check his channel out. I'm sure most of you know who he is. Again, that's BC Amplified. Let him know I brought him up here tonight. But anyways, I'm sure he'll have some strong words tomorrow in his Raw review, and maybe not bitch and complain because he is a smart man, but he'll his own rose-colored glasses, being a Sasha Banks mark, and I do it too with Dean Ambrose. There's a Dean Ambrose mark. I sometimes go to bat for him maybe when it's not the time to do so or something. I'm sure he'll be doing the same with Sasha Banks tomorrow. So go check that out on his channel if you want to hear him go crazy, do his arm thing that he does, and raise his voice, because I guess that's what you need to do on YouTube to be popular. Where I try to do things calm, cool, collective, and it's boring to some. But I just do things differently. And when I do rant, and then I raise my voice. So one of those things that you don't want me to rant because it's just going to hit the fan, because I'll actually start swearing, which I usually don't do too much anyways. Where in BC Amplified's case, he's always amplified, as he calls it, or as it is, because that's his channel name, that's his stick. But I don't know. Again, I don't want to start a beef with someone that has an army of fans where I'm trying to grow fans. So I respect him. As I always say, I respect everybody's opinion. He do his thing his way. I do things my way. Hopefully he respects me. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he just... Sometimes he doesn't respect his fans. Sometimes he doesn't respect people calling him stuff. Again, if you've seen his channel, you know what I'm talking about. The point being is, I'm sure he'll have things to say about how this main event went, as I'm here trying to get my chat to see. And thanks, Bliss Demon X, who's here watching live. You do great. As he said here, LOL, you do a great job, Steve. I appreciate that, and I'm trying to do better. But sometimes it gets aggravated. I know I brought up enough times on this channel, on my podcast, and other ways that I get annoyed with what works or what gets over here on YouTube. And it's not even just in wrestling content. It's in other things, too, that it's the more flamboyant, or even sometimes it seems like, to me, fake. But I don't know. Maybe that is them. Because trust me, if you want to see the real Steve, and if me get all angry, well, who does that really benefit? It's just an angry guy on YouTube. It'll get old and stale if I did that, right? And they wouldn't respect what I'm saying if I'm just saying it louder than everybody else. Just because I'm saying it louder doesn't mean I'm right. And it also doesn't mean that my opinion is fact and I'm godlike, like it seems like for PC Amplified and some others. Because I said it louder and swayed your hips and all this other stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe I am having a little rant. I apologize. I should be very happy. Alexa Bliss is new Raw Women's Champion. I love it. I like it. I love it. And I want some more of it. And we're going to have some more of Alexa Bliss as the Raw Women's Champion. And now we're going to have Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax face turn. Again, I wish they had this match at WWE SummerSlam, but we're going to have it at No Mercy. And I always wondered, when we saw the promo at SummerSlam, before even having the Raw Women's Championship match between Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks, we saw the promo, for those watching on the WWE Network, or maybe they showed it for those that are watching live. I'd have to ask someone who was actually there. But any point being is, we saw the promo for No Mercy, and it had, different Alexa Blisses, stuff like that, which was beautiful as its own right. But point being is we saw that, and it made us wonder, well, could this be giving away what's going to happen in the Raw Women's title match? It's coming up either next or soon at SummerSlam. At that point, to me, I thought that would have meant that it's going to go the way I predicted. Alexa's going to find a way to win. She's going to retain the title. Sasha Banks might get another chance at SummerSlam, and then at No Mercy, and then after that, we move on to Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss or somebody else, and Alexa Bliss hold off Nia Jax a little later, maybe. That was just my opinion. Again, I respect everybody's opinion, unlike others, and don't call them names. But we had Alexa Bliss drop the title. Sasha Banks is the new women's champion, and people like BC Amplify and other fans of Sasha Banks, as they should be. I'm all about sometimes being passionate, but do it in a different way. But Sasha Banks had her moment. So for Sasha Banks fans out there that didn't like that she was only winning championships on free TV, on Monday Night Raws, and not having her moment on pay-per-view, well, there you go. She won it on Raw. She broke a Brooklyn curse, I guess she was having, that I didn't even realize until they had that WWE.com exclusive after SummerSlam with Sasha Banks. But she was the Raw Women's Champion. BC Amplify was thrilled and happy with his good, bad, and ugly as he does for each pay-per-view and everything from there, which is awesome. But then here's the Monday Night Raw. And we get the rematch. Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss revoking in the rematch clause, and bada bing, this guy, I might not be the realest guy in the room, but I am one that thought that Alexa Bliss was going to win back her title because, in my opinion, with the way that No Mercy was being promoted with the Alexa Bliss, is that Alexa Bliss was going to be walking into that said pay-per-view as the champion. Now, the other way to look at it is that she'll be the challenger and she'll win back her title from Sasha Banks at the pay-per-view. But then if that was the case, then why are we having this match now unless it's going to end in a cluster mess? And if it's not going to end in a cluster mess, then why is the point even having this Alexa Bliss invoking a rematch clause? And how would we get to the point of having Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks at No Mercy if we have Alexa Bliss already using her rematch clause here tonight? She has no more leverage to try to get a shot back at her title that she had at SummerSlam that she lost against Sasha Banks. Then that would end. Just like in other storylines where someone wins a title, then they have to have the rematch, and then they move on to the next storyline, to the next feud, to the next opponent. Now, don't worry. We'll talk about the rest of Raw. Trust me. I hear you if that's what you're screaming at your television, computer, or whatever, if you're watching this live or otherwise. But thank you for stopping by. But I wanted to bring this up because A, it was the main event. B, big things happened. And big things are going to be happening, No Mercy, in regards to the women's division. And C, women's division deserves this talk, especially because of what happened. But before I keep rambling on forever, let me welcome my co-host of Steve's Wrestling Ramble, and he's gracious enough to grace his appearance here for the Raw review, Mr. Sir Kyron Chase.
What's up, Steve? Raw was a decent show, but I am on the complete opposite fence where you are with Alexa and Sasha. It was an okay match, not their best. My problem is that I'm tired of WWE doing that with Sasha. I know you know a lot of people like Alexa Bliss, but like I said before, I feel like she's kind of overrated. I mean, she has good mic skills and she's really pretty, but she's not the best in the ring. While Sasha is definitely better in the ring than she is, and the fact that WWE will not let Sasha retain a title one time is really starting to get on my nerves.
I respect that, and can I, and again, obviously, we respect each other. We're friends. You're my co-host on the podcast, but I just wanted to respectfully ask you: do you think? Because I think she's definitely improved in the ring since NXT essentially got the call up to Raw or SmackDown Live. I'm sorry, she's over SmackDown Live first, and going to her character and been better in the ring to catch up with how good she's been on the mic, as you said, and other things. That I think that her improvement in that area, again, just to me, that shows that she's deserving to be in the position that she's in right now. What do you say?
I think she has improved. I'm not trying to say. I'm not gonna say. Come on, say. Oh, she sucks or she can't wrestle or anything like
Right,
that.
right,
That's not what I'm trying. That's not what I'm trying to say at all.
right, right.
And it's not fair to compare people. But I'm just saying, compared to like the Four Horsewomen or Oscar or Ember Moon, even, I feel like she's still not the best in the ring. And this is just like how I feel. And I like Alexa Bliss too. So I'm not gonna act like I'm jumping off I'm on some hate bandwagon or anything like that because I do like her as well. But I'm just looking at it like this. If she wasn't that as good as she is on the mic, and if she wasn't as pretty and good looking as she is, would she be as over as she is? Because, like I said, I do like Alexa Bliss, but I do have my just for like a lot of other wrestlers, I have my criticism about it too. So that's all. That's the one question I always wondered. Like, if she wasn't as pretty as she is, or as good on the mic as she was, would she be as over?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And yeah, I didn't mean to assume things or put words in your mouth. Yeah, I know you like Alexa Bliss, but in your opinion, compared to other superstars, you don't think that she stacks up. And again, I respect that. But to me, I think with how she has improved and everything, I believe that Alexa Bliss has certainly gone over others in the women's division and certainly gotten closer to that precipice of being on the Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and even I guess it would add in their Bayley level, on their level, so to speak, in regards of tiers in the women's division. Again, they're all good in their place and this and that, but in regards to just overall, I would say that in her improvement, that from what I've seen, and as a fan of hers, excuse me, that I believe that the fact that she's gotten that way and she's improved so much to get close to that tier, if not to some true marks of her would say equal to or better. I don't know about that far, but still, to me, that she gotten to that point in itself earns or deserves or whatever you want to use the fact that her being in the place that she is and now on Monday Night Raw, just like she was on SmackDown Live, multiple champion. And I like the way that the way they did that and how she won that night and having Nia Jax's face turn and how that all went down because again, I wish that happened at SummerSlam, but moving forward to No Mercy, B, I think that having Nia Jax's face, even though it could have worked heel, because just like matches that could work face, i.e. John Cena, Roman Reigns at No Mercy, and we'll get into that glorious promo and segment. But specifically back here, I just think that Alexa Bliss and how she's improved really, to me, feels like garners that hopefully most aren't eyes up in arms and maybe some others of how this happened and of the treatment of Sasha Banks and this and that. That, again, is all situational too, at least to me, of how when Sasha won her championships and what WWE was going for in those feuds, mainly last time being with Charlotte Flair and how that flip-flopping. And I even said back then, people can check, go back to those episodes of Steve's Wrestling Ramble and such, that I didn't like the fact that they were hot potatoing the title and it was going back and forth and this and that and whatever, that it seemed in a way like it was devaluing the title at that time. But they'd have great epic matches, making history in the women's division. The matches that they did have, i.e. Hell in a Cell and others. But now here with Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks and this situation and the storyline, I think, again, situational. I think that's just why they did it this way. Because let's say they had Sasha retained somewhere or somehow and we had whatever would have went on and be a cluster mess, and we had the true rematch at the pay-per-view and Alexa won there, would Kyron or anybody else have the same gripe about treatment of Sasha if then she lost the title at the next pay-per-view, right? She won the title at SummerSlam. She had her SummerSlam moment. She had her pay-per-view, winning a title finally at a pay-per-view, not just on a random Raw moment. Excuse me. And becoming the women's champion. And then to lose it at the next pay-per-view, then would it have lessened the ire of Sasha Banks fans? And again, I respect everybody's opinion, and I don't mean to demean people's opinion on it. I'm just saying, in my eyes, and my side, and in my opinion, I think that with how they've been using Sasha Banks, I think it's almost, okay, to be quite honest, and what I'm thinking, it's almost like a veteran, like a Chris Jericho that's putting over talent that's younger. Even though Sasha Banks is still in her prime and she has many years to go, But in that same light of making, especially in Alexa Bliss's case in this situation, I think making a superstar made in Sasha Banks doing the job to Alexa here tonight, and almost it seemed like wrapping up this feud because we're moving on to Alexa and Nia. You saw the face turn of that. And before I lose my train of thought, kind of, what are your thoughts on all that stuff?
I agree with a lot of what you said. Honestly, I don't know how face Nia Jax will work, and I mean, who knows? It might not even be technically a face turn. She could stay heel, but just just because a heel attacks another heel doesn't mean they have to automatically turn face. Just like if a face attacks a face, they don't automatically have to turn heel. I'm not. It's not the fact that Sasha lost the title. I'm not happy about. I mean, I'm not like angry or pissed off. I'm just like kind of disappointed the fact that every time she's quickly defended the title, she lost it just like that. Like, can you at least let her like have a 3-month title reign at least? My issue isn't the fact that she lost the title that Alexa won. It's just the fact that wish Sasha had held the title a little bit longer. Heck, I probably would not have been happy about it if she lost at No Mercy. But if she had say won tonight, or the match between her and Alexa ended in some sort of no contest, something like that, or Nia came out and attacked them both and it turned to triple threat match at No Mercy, which might happen anyway. And she lost at No Mercy. At least she held it through one defense. But just holding 8 days, I just wish it could have. She didn't hold it for just 8 days. That's my only problem.
Yeah, I see that, and I'm sure others will share that opinion. Which again, I respect everybody's opinion, and it's just like to me, again, to really wrap this up, that we got Alexa Bliss now as champion again. We're having this feud between Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. Obviously, having the first time one-on-one for the title, and I guess just for me, I say how I say it, looking forward to that when we get to that point. And I guess we might as well jump into the other big thing that happened on Monday Night Raw. That's the contract signing between Roman Reigns and John Cena, and the back and forth. I mean, as I even said on Twitter when John Cena was breaking the fourth wall there right after, it seemed like Roman Reigns then went full shoot and was like, screw whatever promo I have to do. I'm just going to speak from my heart. Or that all thing would have been planned and it's all was a work and wool over my eyes, whatever. But either way, that was beautiful. I wish I was actually having a pen and paper or wrote down actually what was said between, but I'm sure Kyron will give us the promo one on all of that. And what were your thoughts on the promo and both of them here in the contract signing for their match at No Mercy?
Oh, segment of the night by far. They both did go on the mic. Roman did stumble at one point. You could tell he kind of, maybe forgot what he was supposed to say, or just, I don't know. But he quickly, caught himself, and he cut, honestly, the best promo I've ever heard him cut. Granted, I like his promo, that he had the night after WrestleMania this year more, not because of fireworks, because how he owned the crowd. But, some of the things he said, I really, I like the promo. My only problem is, like John said, let me find it, because I did see some notes. Like John said, how Roman's just saying the same thing everyone else said. For example, this so it sounds like the same thing AJ Styles said. You're a part time and you bury everyone. And John said you're doing the same thing everyone else does. You fail and then you quickly blame me. I'm paraphrasing. I'm cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was just it was a good segment for sure, and I just am looking forward to this match. Just as anyway would have been, WrestleMania worthy, and them having it at No Mercy, it's certainly going to be entertaining. And I think it did for me. As I said on Twitter, it made me rooting more for Reigns in this situation than John Cena, the younger one, the future of WWE, and just the back and forth and everything. Almost everything, both of them. It's just like burn here, burn there, back and forth. I don't know if. I don't know if this was like a boxing match or something like that. Who would be the winner? And in each your scores. I think it would just be a draw. They both burned each other pretty well. And again, like I said, to me, it seemed like WWE did their job. If their job was to get you or try to get you, as I they've been trying to do for a while now. Fans more on the side of Roman Reigns, and why not have the one person that could get that done as good as John Cena is on the mic, but also as much as he's hated by a good amount of the WWE universe, having him sparring promos and having the matches and how many matches they're going to have and this and that. But that's just me.
Well, sorry about that. I had so I made a call to my iPad while I was trying to talk. As I was saying, the thing, and I apologize that if it happens again. But like I said, the things, seeing said, especially how it sounds like some of the stuff I said to Palmer on Thursday. When he has the main event of WrestleMania in years, and he was the opening match at SummerSlam this year. How and this is something that a lot of people brought up, and I even said this stuff before I was on the Wrestling Ramble, of course. How when he held the title, it was felt like the main title. It felt big. When Roman had the U.S. title, it felt like it was a demotion. He used as a demotion. The title barely defended. It was times Roman came out without the belt. And John, he called Roman, poor man, basically a poor man's version of John Cena. But of course, I thought, and I love how he ended it with basically telling him, you should be ashamed that I'm a part-timer because I can do better part-time than you can do full-time. So I thought John definitely won this promo battle between Roman, but then again, that's not fair. He is the better on the mic anyway, so I knew he was going to probably win anyway. But I'm not like most people who hate on Roman Reigns and John Cena for no apparent reason, mainly because I like both of them. I can give credit where credit's due. Roman held his own in a promo. I just wish he didn't say stuff like his promo felt just like some stuff AJ Styles said, but it was still pretty good. And John, he even said, it took you this long to cut a half decent promo. I thought that it was a great segment all around.
Yeah, and I actually to bring up what you were talking about before when you were first talking about it. About Roman slipping up there, and yeah, I noticed that too. So if we had to technically score things, probably John would win, if not just for that slip up and other good jabs as well. And Roman Reigns calling John Cena a part-time fake ass, and that was a good line just because people like lines when people swear, and makes it more impactful. Again, just like amplified or whatever in that way. But it was a good one. Again, back that back and forth and everything, and just I don't know. I just get this bad vibe every time when John Cena talks, like he does disrespect people that he's facing, like Baron Corbin and everything. How he seemed like not even into the match when he was opening SummerSlam, and maybe that's because of Baron's deep push and whatever going on. But the point being is they're just getting that vibe from John Cena. But either way, this match and No Mercy, at least right now, again, this is just their first interaction heading into No Mercy. I would say that I'm leaning more toward wanting to cheer for Reigns than cheering for Cena. When just hours before Raw started, I would have won actually ladder and John over Roman. How a promo we make change fans' minds. And again, us fans and wrestling fans in general sometimes can be fickle people, but either way, that's just how I see it in that regard. But either way, there's certainly going to be a great match. I'm looking forward to it. And I know for ratings and for No Mercy, again, as I always say, WWE should be focusing on their other pay-per-views and trying to give them a plus quality card. Looks like that's going to be the case here for No Mercy, at least for it seems like some of the matches that would be going down at that time.
Well, I like what you said, and granted, for No Mercy, and I'm kind of disappointed because what I wanted was either a fatal four-way for the IC title between John, Miz, Joe, and Roman. John versus Joe, because that's a legit dream match for me, and Roman versus Miz for the IC title. But, like I said earlier, when I was in one of my tweets, I'm fine with Roman and Cena too. It would probably be a really good match. But here's one thing I told Mark a few days ago. The same people who always complain about John Cena, and I'm putting up air quotes, burying younger talent and beating people when he shouldn't be. If they root for Cena to beat Roman Reigns at No Mercy, I'm going to call out a lot of hypocrisy when we eventually talk about No Mercy, both the review and prediction. And it's true. I mean, you can't, like I've said a billion times, you can't have it one way, not the other. You talk about, Cena winning matches he shouldn't. Well, and this comes from who John Cena is my favorite wrestler. He shouldn't win this match. It's just like I said, like when I was first here, I said how Roman shouldn't have lost to the Undertaker at WrestleMania because a young person should be losing to someone older person, and I feel Roman can get the rub from winning these matches. So if you're one of the people who always complain about younger stars losing to part timers, if you root for John Cena to beat Roman Reigns, I'm calling hypocrisy out.
Yeah, I respect that. Yeah, it just seems to me though sometimes he does that, and I think just with his brain and stuff like that, how smart he is, he does work the system and backstage politics. And then again, I'm sure they all do in some way, even the good ones. Just because they want to be on the top, and why be in WWE if you don't want to be the best, if you don't want to be the champion, whether it's WWE champion, Universal champion, whatever champion, number one champion, and for the women, women's champion, and this and that. I be here? There's someone else that actually has that drive and determination. So, and that round and that thinking, and also in that mentality and that drive and that passion, you want to be the best and this and that, can lead you to do things like that may not be so morally right. The backstage politics and stuff. And yes, I know that's normal. I know that's what happens in the business and everything for wrestling, but still doesn't mean it has to be right. Doesn't mean you have to do business that way. Anyways, I wanted to go to my Twitter here. Again, people are welcome to follow me on Twitter at WWE_podcast. Simple like that. I do have I restarted doing my Raw and SmackDown Live Insta poll starting this week. So tonight I did mine. What did you think of Raw? What did you think Raw did tonight and how they did? So far, only 5 votes. Only been up for a short time. It will be up for 24 hours. So we'll be ending at 10:30 or 10 o'clock, whatever, tomorrow night, just to let people know if you're watching later. But with 5 votes right now at this point, we've got a tie with good and okay, 40%. 20% say great, and 0% at terrible. So just wanted to give an update. I'll sure give another update before we leave here tonight. But again, follow me on Twitter at W_podcast. I'm welcome to take part in those polls and also reply and let us know your thoughts and feelings of Raw or tomorrow night SmackDown Live on Twitter. That's another way to interact with the fans. Other than that, with Monday Night Raw, I think the other thing is the Intercontinental Championship situation. See, this guy over here, as I said on Twitter, I was sitting over here thinking we're going to have a fatal 4-way. I even brought it up last week on my Raw review and Steve's Wrestling Ramble, I do believe, of having a fatal 4-way and having another fatal 4-way on the Raw brand. You had it at SummerSlam with the Universal title. Why not have it at No Mercy? And why not have it at the IC title, which some say would be the number one title on Raw on the way that's been promoted. So, and the way how Miz has been as awesome heel, he's been there for a while now. So if you have that and you have Roman Reigns and John Cena part of it, instead of having their own one-on-one match that we will be having at SummerSlam, and also involving the Miz and this and that, would have been okay, guys, match of the night quality, this and that. But now we're going in a different direction. We have John Cena, Roman Reigns breaking apart and having their one-on-one contest, right? Because we had the contract signing and that great promo that we just were pontificating on earlier. But now in the IC Championship situation, we have the 50-man Battle Royal. The Miz Taraj were even part of it. I actually had a funny feeling that I thought that maybe one of them would win. That's going to be interesting, just to have them getting a chance and remembers his friend at No Mercy and building that up. And I don't think either one would have won the title, obviously, but it would have made it interesting and would have gotten people that maybe might not have been interested in how the IC title has been used on the shows to having a match like that at No Mercy, but that not be what it be. Jeff Hardy won, and Jeff Hardy to be the number one contender. Jeff Hardy's facing them next week, not even at No Mercy. So what's going to go down there? Are we going to see what happened like we saw happening tonight with the Raw Women's title? Alexa Bliss wins back her championship. In that, obviously, yes, different situation, different storyline, but still, person winning title on Raw. Next week, could we have another person winning title on Raw? Could Jeff Hardy win the title and The Miz having his rematch at the pay-per-view? Who knows? But either way, what were your thoughts on the Battle Royal itself? Did you have any thoughts on who was going to win heading into it before everything happened? And looking forward to next week, Jeff Hardy, The Miz, IC title match.
Well, first of all, I thought it was actually one of the better Battle Royals. Uh, I'll be honest, just like I tweeted, a lot of us thought Jason Jordan was gonna probably win the Battle Royal and face Miz next week, but they swerved and gave it to Jeff Hardy. And I don't think Jeff is gonna win next week because if he wins the IC title, what are they gonna do with Matt since they won't do the broken gimmick, sadly. I just don't think I think the nostalgia, pop is kind of worn off the Hardys. I mean, I still love them, but I think they break him up is not gonna do Matt any good unless he's able to go broken. One thing in the Battle Royal, I'm surprised no one tweeted about, and you didn't even bring it up, was the small little tease of Balor Club with Finn helping Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows eliminate Big Show, and Anderson putting up the too sweet sign for a second. Who knows? It could build to something big, and I would love to see the original, three members of the Bullet Club. I could be wrong about that, but I know Finn was the original leader. Those three together, I would love to see that. It'd be pretty cool. I wish Bray Wyatt didn't get involved in Eliminate Finn because I'm kind of tired of that feud. Because we already got the Demon and we're not going to get it again at No Mercy. But then again, they might have a stipulation match. Who knows? Other than that, it was a decent battle royal, but nothing was truly special about it. I did like, Miz's reaction to a lot of stuff because Miz is one of the best official reactions, but it was pretty good. It was a decent battle royal.
I sure was. Yes, I did. I didn't bring it up during the battle royal, and I obviously didn't bring it up here now with the club and the club battle and everything that could be. That was like you said, for a short second there. I eliminated the Big Show because I just think that I wanted that earlier earlier being not too long ago, but so when Finn and the club are on Raw and okay, we can do this now and why not and just go with it, but it didn't happen yet. So the longer and longer that is not to be, to me at least, in my opinion, that it's not going to get as over for me specifically when it finally does happen. It's like, okay, you're finally doing it now. You're kind of a couple months late, sort of thing. Yeah, as much as it'll be cool and awesome and they'll do great things, it's just that the fact that I thought that it should have happened a little bit earlier, a little bit sooner, then hurts at least my reaction to whenever it would happen a little bit because, wanting sooner. So, I'm not saying it wouldn't be a good thing. It's just for me, almost like a too little too late situation in that way. But yeah, I kind of thought Jason Jordan was going to win as well. Have Jason Jordan against The Miz again. Maybe even Jason winning the title again, having The Miz getting a rematch at the pay-per-view and going from there. So I certainly wonder which way they will go and how it will get to that. Because I still think it's going to be Jason and Miz. And I still seem like that is the way they're going and driving the story of Jason Jordan and Miz, in their feud heading into No Mercy and heading into other pay-per-views. And this kind of being a longer lasting feud than what it seems to be. But with him not winning and Jeff Hardy getting the chance and what's going to happen next week, or will just Jason Jordan get involved, or what and however it'll go. Certainly got me intrigued and certainly going to be interesting. I'm sure got everybody intrigued, everybody watching Raw, everybody that's WWE fan, and engaged and interested in this storyline of all the other storylines, part of Monday Night Raw and part of tonight's Raw show in general, moving forward. So again, we'll see how it goes next week. I don't think Jeff Hardy's going to be winning the title either. Miz is going to retain somehow. I do think Jason Jordan's going to get involved somehow. Again, I still see a Jason Jordan and The Miz being that match at No Mercy. But we'll certainly see how things go next week. But as of anything else on Monday Night Raw, at least to me, I don't think anything else to really bring up or anything of the nature of those three main things that went down tonight. But if there is anything else from Raw you wanna bring up or anything else at all, welcome to let us all know.
Honestly, there was nothing really that was eventful enough to really talk about. The Dean versus Sheamus and Seth versus Cesaro were both good matches, but nothing else was big enough that I thought we should really talk about. I mean, the only things like where I thought we really should have talked about were the women's title match and everything that happened during that segment, the opening battle royal, and of course, Cena Reigns' promo. And I just don't feel like anything else was worth talking about.
Yeah, and I would agree in that way. Though there is one thing I do want to talk about, but just give it a couple of minutes here at the end of the show, because why not? Put it at the back. It kind of deserves that with the main three things that happened. But Mickey James, Emma, their one-on-one match, and now if I don't know, just having a stipulation for this match, we're trying to make it more than it really was. If Mickey wins, Emma would have to say on social media that Mickey James started this women's revolution, and if Emma won, or Mickey would have to go on Twitter and something with a hashtag that Emma tells her to do or something, whatever that was. And again, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I applaud WWE for trying to make this more than really what it was. It's just a random match put on Raw, another match for the women's division, which is, hey, I'm all about. I always say have another feud or at least another match on your shows beyond what's specifically highlighting, as it should be because it's a championship, but still, other than highlighting the women's title and highlighting that feud, have other women matches on the show. You have 3 hours. You can do it. You're smart people. And I'm looking at you, Rogers. Anyways, so in that aspect, I liked it, but just in the silliness of how that was and how, like I said, give props to try to make us care. I don't know. It sounds like you, Karen, didn't hear either too much of Emma, Mickey James, but maybe it could be going somewhere for Emma. Maybe, as I tweeted out, maybe at some point she might actually get a title match, just like on SmackDown Live with what's going on with Tamina. In a different way, obviously, could be going on for Emma. Then again, neither of them probably will be winning the Raw or SmackDown women's titles, but them getting a chance at it and being in the main event feud for the women's division on said brands could be good for both of their careers, especially for Tamina more so. Actually having a spotlight. But in regards to Emma, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up just to share that little nugget.
Well, I feel that I didn't care about Emma and Mickey James at all, and I'm not gonna say I feel that way because I really didn't. And it's sad because Mickey is honestly one of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time. She's right there with Trish and Lita, as those three I really loved growing up. And Emma is really good. I wish they had kept her old heel thing because like I said, I did not like her new thing they gave her tonight. And the problem with this match, and this is like from honest how I feel, if WWE really invested in this match and gave it the proper build, these two could really put on a good match. Watch some of Emma's stuff in NXT, and we know how good Mickey is. And if WWE really just invested in them, it'd be pretty good. Tamina on SmackDown, I gotta see where they're gonna go with that because I've never really cared for Tamina to begin with, and I really don't care for Lana right now. One thing I'm disappointed myself for not bringing up on Raw is the Heyman Brock Lesnar segment. I was surprised we didn't see, I was disappointed we didn't see Braun Strowman or Samoa Joe tonight. But as I've said a million times, I call Paul Heyman the god of the microphone. I never get tired of his sermons in the ring. And he had another great promo. Brock interrupted. I wasn't happy about it, but the thing about Brock when he interrupts Paul is just to say certain, just quick things like Suplex City and things like that. Mm-hmm. I love how Heyman showed what happened last week. And the thing about Paul Heyman, why he's the best mic worker of all time, he's the master of selling the match and selling the wrestler. He does a great job of putting Brock over, but he did a perfect job, just like he did with Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns before. And Finn Balor. He did a perfect job of putting Braun Strowman over, saying, yes, he manhandled Brock twice last week at SummerSlam and on Raw. He's the hardest opponent Brock ever had to face. That's why Heyman, I feel, and you can have Bobby Heyman and Jim Cornette or Jimmy Hart, whatever you want, is the best promo guy and best manager of all time because no other manager I feel like does that the way Heyman does. Sure, you might get some like Jim Cornette did from time to time, but Heyman does it the best of putting over the match, his wrestler, and the opponent.
Well, that's true for sure. I was just gonna say he's just the best at promoting things. Period. I mean, just his days in ECW and building that empire in a way, and now being as a manager, he's just promoting matches, putting other guys over, not just Brock Lesnar, who's working with his client in that way, and in those matches that are coming for Brock, and having the way of promoting the match and making you think that these other guys can have a chance to win and this and that, and no matter what we think is part of the WWE universe of whatever upcoming match should be, like we think, it's going to go this way, maybe still will go this way, but the way Paul Heyman kind of cut that promo that happened, that, okay, you never know, because he's giving props to the superstar. He's putting them over, as said with Braun Strowman here specifically tonight and everything. So good to bring that up again. But I kind of lied, because there was another thing that I wanted to bring up, and I actually shared on Twitter. And everybody, welcome to follow me at WWE Podcast, WWE.com exclusive, with Enzo Amore interacting with the Cruiserweight division. And that stuff there was hilarious, fabulous, glorious, awesome, good, whatever words you want to put in there. At least to me it was. And just seeing interactions with the Cruiserweights, which kind of seemed real during it, kind of, not total kayfabe. But actual, just of what Enzo was saying in this and in his promo, and what he was saying before the weigh-in and with Kurt Angle and everything. It just was entertaining in that way, just seeing that, because I'm always a person that likes to see other people's reaction to things. That's why, I kind of want to do reactions here on this channel. But point being is that seeing that and that kind of also made me think that maybe WWE is continuing to rib Enzo with the stuff that he was saying and bringing up and this and that, and then the warm dar. So he had to say, but I don't know. I thought that was interesting, entertaining, and certainly something, at least something to bring up.
I didn't watch it, and I honestly didn't care. I think no, it was during the tag team. I think I was, using the bathroom or something. I honestly don't really care for Enzo being in the Cruiserweight division. Like I've said before, and I still don't feel that way. The day I just wasn't caring. I don't plan on watching 205 Live, no matter who's on it, and I don't see him taking the title from Neville. So I didn't see it from I barely paid attention. I think I was either using the bathroom or reading something. I really couldn't care less. So, this isn't to be negative or just dog pile Enzo or the Cruiserweight division. It's just the fact that WWE isn't giving me much of a reason to care. So I just can't care.
Yeah, and it seems like that's what or at least that's what they're trying to do. Have Enzo on 205 Live, get his fan base, and how he was good with Big Cass. That's why the tag team was formidable, and I wish they won the tag team titles. But with Enzo Amore and his shtick and how he is in real life and all that other stuff, and having him and put him over on 205 Live, putting him with the Cruiserweights and not in the Cruiserweight division, certainly, at least in the eyes of WWE, to me, it seems like, they're trying to get more viewers over there, trying to make it more popular, and having an Enzo character like that, which I don't think probably won't be becoming champion anytime soon, because he still has the heat that he has in general, and that's not going to go away because it's going to shoot off his mouth again for something braggadocious. That's just him. But having him on 205 Live and having him part of the Cruiserweight division could be beneficial to WWE, getting more eyes and here's just to 205 Live. And in the end, the ratings, as much as we talk about having the network and not having to care too much about that, they must care, because they get rid of shows because of ratings, not just because they're advertising and trying to save money. It's other reasons too. So they care. So in that fact, with 205 Live wanting it to be good, having Enzo there, they think that will garner people to care, to watch, to see, maybe in the idea of watching a train wreck, because people like train wrecks, I guess. So even in that sense of people wanting to see what's going to happen each week to Enzo, or what he's going to say, and crazy crap is going to happen. So in my eyes, it seems like the way they want to portray it, it's really going to be interesting for sure to see how that all goes down. But with that, I think we're going to end here for the Monday Night Raw review. Thanks to Kyron here for being here, and gracious the presence. Welcome to put stuff over and let people know where they can find you on social media.
Instagram /Kyron, Twitter /Kyron, DeviantArt, and Tumblr Kyron Chase, all lowercase. YouTube Kyron Chase. I do videos on wrestling, obviously. Sonic the Hedgehog, which hopefully I can get my first Sonic the Hedgehog video out either sometime by the end of the week before I go back to school Tuesday. And My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And I'm gonna hopefully be here every Monday or Tuesday night, depending on. I will likely be every Thursday, but Monday and Tuesday for SmackDown Raw reviews, it all depends.
Right, that's fine. Yeah, same with Mark Rambo as well. Obviously, anybody's welcome to join in for these reviews, because more the merrier, right? Other talking heads, other opinions beyond just me, myself, and I for the reviews, at least. and then our team coming together on Thursday night. Because if we have either both or one of my co-hosts for Raw or SmackDown reviews, then when we get to Thursdays, we'll talk about other news and notes and other things where we don't have to spend so much on Raw and SmackDown again, because we talked about in the reviews, and we can tell our great audience and listeners on Thursday nights that you can watch the reviews to hear our thoughts on Monday's Raw and Tuesday's SmackDown Live, because we discussed it together or whatever. But point being is then, having that other content for the show when we get to Thursday. But I did want to bring up here one last time before we go again. You can follow me on Twitter at W_podcast, on Instagram, StevieK_06. I do like the underscores. But on my Twitter, again, what did you guys think of Monday Night Raw? As of right now, and here at the end of this episode of the Raw Review, 17% with great, 50% with good, 33% with okay, and 0%, still 0, with terrible for Monday Night Raw. Again, just 6 votes, 23 hours left for people to vote. So welcome to go over there, give your thoughts. And if you do vote, you're more than welcome to retweet it and let your own fans, your own people have their say. I always like interacting on Twitter. Always do reply to people that do comment in the comment section below when the video is posted, and all the other great jazz. Make caring about the audience. You take your time to watch me. I'll take my time to respond to you. But thanks to everybody that's watched live, those that will be watching archived. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening or Tuesday morning or afternoon if you're watching this here the next day. But above all else, and as always, take care.
Peace out.